voice gets all choppy now. I've noticed that when I turn on to the recording, it'll chop up my voice. So let me know. All right, so this was for Monday. Go back to Monday's first problem. Go back to this one. Go back to this one. Here. So go back to Monday's notes. Now, there's like 4 things I still have to teach you from this problem. I'm going to teach you one of those 4 right now. Okay? So if you don't have this, dude, you're double time doing this, like quickly. Okay, I'm going to teach you. So 1, 2, the 3, the third thing is the table. The 4th thing I have to teach you is the equation. Okay? All proportional relationships have an equation. Okay? If you take a test on this, the first thing or second thing they'll ask you is, well, what's the equation? Represent the following as an equation. And you're like, okay. It's really, really easy, actually. The equation is always y equals kx. The equation is always y equals kx. Y can represent any of these numbers at the bottom. X represents any of these numbers on the top. And K, you're just like, where did K come from? Why K? Is Miss O'Malley using K on purpose? Does she like the letter K? I'm neither here nor there. But K is universal in math in 7th grade. K is universal. Every time you see a K, well, not every time. 99% of the time you see K, K is equal to constant of proportionality. That's how you spell proportionality. That's that word. Okay, so you will always write an equation that starts with y equals kx, where k is your constant of proportionality. So does anybody want to take a wild guess on what's our equation for this very first problem? What's the equation for this very first problem? I'll give you a clue. It starts with y. Y. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I think you guys are making it way harder than what it is. Maybe I didn't explain it correctly. Here it is. This, you'll always have it in this form. Now, y from our table stands for a lot of numbers, right? It keeps changing. Y keeps changing, right? So we're going to keep y as is. Equals k. What is your constant of proportionality? What number did you keep adding by? What number always stayed the same? 1.4. X, it keeps changing, right? It keeps changing. Depends on which box I'm in. It keeps changing. So if it keeps changing, I'm going to leave it as x. Because x can change. Y can change. But the only thing that doesn't change is your 140, your constant of proportionality. If you know the word constant outside of math, constant means stays the same. Constant speed, constant rate, constant of proportionality, that means it's like stays the same. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the equation for this whole problem. Y equals 1.4x. Where did I get the 1.4? It's my constant of proportionality. Y and x is just like, it's part of it. It's always going to be y equals something, x. So that's the only thing that keeps changing. Y equals 1.4x. That's it. That's the equation. So when you write your equation, it will always start with y equals, then a number, then x. So I'll write it on this side. I don't have to write this down. It's always y equals something x. So you're always going to change that number. What is that number? It's your constant of proportionality. But it always starts with y equals, then your constant of proportionality, then x. So it looks complicated. It looks like, what? Huh? What? It's really not. It's just like, just remember that you're always going to start with y equals some number x. And that some number, it's not like a number you pull out of the sky. No, it's the number you solved for at the very first step. So whatever this number is, it goes here, and it helps you fill out the table. Okay? Helps you fill out the table. All right, so I'm not done with this problem. I'll probably continue on tomorrow. Tomorrow, I need you to have a ruler, an index card, anything that's a straight edge. Anything that's straight edge. Even like another notebook that you might have. Like this is my little notebook that I write like all my notes down, my to-do. So you can just do this. I just need something that you can draw a straight line with. So if you have a ruler, that's fantastic. If you don't have a ruler, dude, just find something with a straight edge. Like your ID card for your school, that's a straight edge. All right, so there's that one. Let's go to our second problem we did on Monday. Go to your second problem. Okay, our constant of proportionality is 2. So number 4, what's your equation equal to? What's the equation for the second problem we did on Monday? Give you a clue, it starts with y. Yeah, very good. So our equation is y equals 2x. Why? The 2 is basically your constant of proportionality. Dump it right in there. That's it. Now using the simple problem, I'm going to show you something else. I didn't show it to you in the first problem because of the decimals, but with this problem, it's easier for me to show you. So with your equation, you can also plug in all of these numbers. For example, if I go, well, how much, let's pretend I'm asking for 44 boxes, right? And I'm like, okay, 44 boxes. How much is 44 boxes? Yes, I know a lot of you can do it in your head. But what did you just do in your head? How did you figure out how much money is 44 boxes? What did you just do in your head? Because some of you are like, oh, I have the answer. Done. It's this, right? What you literally did without realizing is you used your equation. So I know that x is 44. So I'm going to go y equals 2 times x. Well, x is 44 in this problem. So 2 times 44 is 88. Oh, so you're telling me that y is equal to 88. Why, yes. Yes, it is. It is equal to 88 because I just solved for it. You see, I plug in this number to x and I can solve for y. So when the numbers get really big and you're just like, I don't know, you're going to use your equation, plug in what they give you, and solve for it. Sometimes they give you y. So they're like, okay, if I have $6, well, that's money, so that's y. How many boxes can I buy with $6? Oh, this is a one-step equation. I'm going to divide by 2, so x is equal to 3, which we already have on our table, right? So an equation also helps you fill out a table, especially when they're weird numbers. Like, okay, I have $136. How many boxes can I buy with $136? And you're like, I don't know. My table just goes up to 5. 5 boxes, $10. Well, I'm telling you, you have $136. How many boxes can you buy? You're like, oh, okay, cool. So I just divide by 2. And I get what x is, because x stands for boxes. Oh, okay, cool. So let's see. That's 6, remainder 1. So that's 16, 18. Why doesn't, no, that's not right. 60, not 1. That gives you 12, remainder 1, 6, 68. So 68 is equal to x. So that means I can buy 68 boxes with $136. So the equation allows you to solve for weird numbers. So if they say you have $2,562, how many boxes of cereal can you buy? You're like, huh? 2,000 what? All you do is just plug it in. If they give you boxes, you put it in y. If they give you if they give you boxes, you put it in x. If they give you money, you substitute it for y. I'm not done with this problem. I just made it really complicated. It's really not, though. Do we write that? Dude, you write everything I write down. Everything. So this is one problem. This is your, which that goes with that. This is your second, and this is your third, and this is your equation. Those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 things I just added. This I did in problem number 1. This I did not do in problem number 1 because it was a decimal and I felt like you wouldn't be able to follow me with a decimal. So I decided to do this next step with an easy number because it's 2x. And I was hoping that you would follow along when I said, okay, if you have 44 boxes, how much money did you spend? Oh, I spent $88. Cool, this is what you did. But what if I went backwards? I told you have $6. How many boxes did you buy with $6? Oh, you bought 3 boxes because X stands for boxes. Then I said, oh, if I have $136, how many boxes did you get? Oh, I divided by 2, 68 boxes because X stands for boxes. Okay, that's the type of question that they'll ask. They'll ask like, what's your equation? What's your constant of proportionality? Fill in the table. Now, tell me like these really big numbers. So this one problem takes, a good 30 minutes, and not because it's hard, it's because it has multiple layers to it. And I'm not even done with this problem. We're going to come back to it tomorrow. Woo! All right, last one. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat. If you need clarification, please put it in the chat. All right, last one. The cost of 6 pounds of apples is $2.40. What is the cost of 1 pound of apple? Because per means 1. So we saw that our constant of proportionality was 40 cents, right? So number 4, what's our equation? What's our equation equal to? Notice I'm still leaving a lot of space at the bottom because I'm going to need a lot of work space tomorrow. What's our equation for the last problem? That's correct. Y equals 0.4x. That's your equation. That's your equation. So let me see if I can do a problem that's pretty. Okay. Let's write this down right here. Write this down. This is the next thing I got to teach you. I'll teach it to you with this one. We'll go over it more tomorrow. Okay. If I buy 18 pounds, how much will 18 pounds cost? I guess I just should have written how much will 18 pounds cost. How much does 18 pounds cost? So I told you 18 pounds. If I add it to my table, it would be 18 on top. So 18, how much would 18 pounds cost? Well, you can use your equation y equals 0.4 times 18 because X stands for pounds. So grab your calculator. What's 0.4 times 18? I'm looking for my cost, my money, that's Y, so I'm solving for Y. So 0.4 times 18, what is Y equal to? Yep, $7.2. $7.2, right? That could be question number 1. Question number 2. If I spent $48, how many pounds did I buy? Okay, so if I spent $48, how many pounds did I buy? So now $48 is my money, right? So it would be if I put 48 at the bottom, I'm looking for X, looking for, well, how much pounds did I buy with $48? Not 48 pounds, but $48. Okay, so money is my y. So in my equation, y equals 0.4x, 18 would go in the y, 0.4, and then x. You've solved these problems with me what was it, like November or something, first semester? So we would divide by 0.4, divide by 0.4, x equals, I don't know, I'm gonna grab my calculator. So 48 divided by 0.4. How many pounds did I buy? I bought 120 pounds. Okay, so if on a test they give you points based on level of difficulty, this would be like 1 point. This would be maybe like 2 points. This, they would give you points for. These are the type of questions, though, that are worth the most points because it involves understanding how to use your equation, understanding the unit rate, understanding where to plug in these numbers. So these bottom ones would be worth more points than the top stuff. But to get to this, you really do need all of this. So that's why they love giving you these problems because it's multi-layer. You need a bunch of information to get all the way down to here. Okay, any questions? Now, I'm totally not done with this. There is still one more or two more things I got to teach. No, for sure, two more things I got to teach you with all of these problems. So we're gonna leave it here. Just leave it here.